and understand my wife's inconsolable pain. Because I'm struggling to find a path to recovery and at least some form of normalcy. My community is crumbling right in front of my face. Lack of funding to rebuild is slowly destroying us. Many of us can no longer hold out, and developers are gobbling up our property. When I hear voices like Tavis Smiley and James Farr speak truth to power on KBLA Talk 1580, it reminds me that we're not crazy, just unheard. Make no mistake here, KBLA delegation, this is war. And we the people of Black Altadena are losing. It's like waiting for reparation. Not gonna happen, brother. In this new orange man world, no one, no entity is persuaded by right or wrong. There is no consequence for doing the wrong thing and no accolades or support for doing the right thing. Will war-torn Black Altadena survive? Your guess is as good as mine. But what have I got to lose? I'm in my 70s and don't have time to wait. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once suggested that riots break out when people have no hope. But there is nothing left to burn down in Altadena. I wish I could say I remain hopeful that my beloved community will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes. I wish I could. With a KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Pasadena Community Coalition at gmail.com. Reach out to me. As always, we welcome your feedback.
KBLA Talk 1580. We are worldwide from Lagos to Leimert Park. We're doing big things, and we're so grateful that you're doing them with us. Want to talk? Want to talk to me? Want to yell at me? Want to encourage each other? 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. That's the number to call. If you missed all of our shows when we broadcast from West Africa for 2 weeks, Miles Lowe and Dominique DiPrima from Lagos, actually many different parts of Nigeria, Benin, and Ghana. You can find them on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts absolutely free. You could also find them on the KBLA app, which hopefully you've updated, downloaded, and let's keep the comments going. The comment section on YouTube is always fire. So there is a lot to unpack today. Some of it I'm still catching up, some of it not so much. Speaking of talking points, so there's this sort of election talking points that still linger that have to do with immigration, which is if we kick out all of these immigrants, and usually when they say that, they mean Latinos, because they're rarely talking about the Canadians who overstay their visas. Or the Ukrainians who cut the line and came in. They're talking about Latinos, maybe Haitians. They say if we get rid of all these immigrants, then the Americans will have more job opportunities, more money, less crowding in schools and hospitals. These are the talking points that I've been hearing for years. And now we are seeing, as ICE rushes to meet this quota of 1 million people deported that Trump promised in his first year, they're grabbing people who are not criminals, who have been here forever, who are workers and workers that we rely on in all kinds of businesses, from car washes and agriculture, farmers, people picking the crops, construction, all of these places, we find that people are being arrested and detained. And I think the talking point, if the reality on the ground is not undermining that talking point, then perhaps we need to walk ourselves through it. If the guys that were arrested at the Home Depot are no longer available to haul things or build things in Altadena, for example, does that mean that we have plenty of qualified, ready American workers who are rushing in to do the job that are capable and available right now? Doesn't seem like it. If they are grabbing migrants who work these thankless and low-paid jobs in slaughterhouses, processing your chicken and your cow and whatever other animals we're eating, your pigs. And these are dangerous jobs with sharp machinery where people lose limbs, and OSHA is a distant thought, meaning worker safety is at the bottom of the list. Many of the people working these factories are not just migrants, but migrant minors. Those unaccompanied minors that came from Honduras or El Salvador, fleeing gang violence, which was created because of the drug demand that is this country's responsibility, but that's another talking point for another day. Do we have American workers rushing to work overnight in stinky, dangerous, slippery, disgusting, and very low-paid jobs? Cleaning and cutting and gutting the cows and chickens and pigs? I don't think so. So what's the play? I hear the play is they're going to force the detained migrants to work for $1 a day instead of $1 or $5 an hour. And that might well be. But in your talking point that this frees up more jobs and opportunity for Americans, I find multiple lies. And I see those lies being illustrated by what's happening right now. Starting with yesterday's announcement from ICE declaring that millions of undocumented people in this country are no longer eligible for bond hearings. So what does that mean? It means that instead of being allowed to live wherever they live with relatives or live in housing that they pay for and work while they wait for a hearing, they will now go to jail, go directly to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200. What does it mean? It means that millions of people who were previously free, waiting to go to court, will now go to prison, detention centers. It means these millions of people will no longer be working, paying taxes, and getting things done that our country needs done. Instead, they will be on the dole, meaning you and I will be paying for their 3 terrible meals a day in their inhumane conditions, so that companies like the Geo Group can make mega profits, so that people like Stephen Miller, who has invested in these companies, can line their pockets. But what it actually means that instead of these millions of migrants or undocumented human beings contributing to the tax base, contributing to the work that needs to be done to rebuild Altadena or Texas, now they will be sitting in cells with their food, shelter, and clothing paid for by who? Me and you, the American taxpayer. And meanwhile, they're in inhumane conditions which we are responsible for. How is this talking point working out for us? Not only are we losing workers that are needed, not only are we just breaking all norms, international norms of how people are treated, not only are we throwing due process under the bus, we are now forcing American workers to pay for massive expenses to detain people who were previously paying taxes and contributing to society. The talking point is bull. And I hope we're waking up to this. I hope you're waking up to this. I have a friend, maybe I should say former friend, who watches an app. There's an app apparently where you can watch migrants being rounded up and jailed. And he thinks it's funny and great. And that it means more housing for everybody, more jobs for everybody. I beg to differ. It means you now, instead of spending that $170 billion with a B that the president has given to ICE, instead of spending on that on building housing, improving our schools, health care for our babies, or reinstating something like the child tax credit, which took 4 million children out of hunger and poverty, American children. No, now we're spending it to kidnap and jail people who are not criminals, but who are actually undocumented. So basically people guilty of misdemeanors being jailed for months or even years at taxpayer expense. This is where we are, people. Where is the truth in that talking point? Oh, we got a lot to talk about. It's the perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima, reminding you as I spout all this bad news that people power still wins. People power is how we're getting out of this mess. And I believe that we will. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. For this free information, call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. That's 800-433-8909. Or simply visit godra.com.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways, and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Okay, it's a time in my life. You know, I've been doing talk radio for decades now, and I've been through some weird times, notably after 9/11, right? It was one of the weirder times in life. But this one takes the cake. This is the strangest era that I've actually lived through. I've read about the McCarthy era. I think probably we're in a time similar to that. I've read about the Dred Scott decision, maybe close to some of the things that we're dealing with today, but I haven't lived through them. And I've decided that it's our job to be brave. I've decided that it's our job to be fearless. I have realized that it is the people that are going to save us, not the politicians, not the money, not the government, not even the technology. It is we, the people. And I'm going to keep saying that because so many of my friends are scared and discouraged and worried. And I have several that have already left the country, several that are considering it. I'm team stay and fight. I always said that. For a while I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be nice to live in, I don't know, Senegal and not have to deal with this BS? But my ancestors fought, bled, worked, created, laughed, birthed on this land for us to be the amazing country, the superpower that we are. And I'm not about to give it up. You'll have to come take mine. And I hope that we know that when we fight, we win, and we're just going to keep fighting. People power and the incredible consciousness that hasn't gone anywhere. It's just been covered up by people who are loud and wrong. So XAI, that's the artificial intelligence company that's owned by Elon Musk, now has something called Grok for government. Grok is his AI tool. That's the one that was spouting Nazi rhetoric last week. And apparently they have a new contract with the Department of Defense and the General Service Administration, which is really wild that supposedly this dude is fighting with Trump, and yet the government keeps buying his stuff, buying his ish, good, bad, or indifferent. Very concerning. Not sure what they're planning to use it for, but an artificial intelligence platform that is praising Hitler last week and this week is being purchased by the Department of Defense. Well, no talking point needed. Let's go to Ron from Los Angeles. Good morning, Ron. You're on the air. Welcome.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I am blessed as well. I was listening to the topic here, and I think this whole thing has to do with labor, money. They're not talking about the companies that are hiring people that are illegal.
Right.
They're not just talking about. I'm sorry.
No, I just was agreeing with you. Right. We've not seen any CEO nor company head prosecuted. It's only the workers.
Yeah. So and if you look back, they didn't stop these illegal immigrants from coming in due to the labor. And I think we need to look at. I mean, what about the American people? I mean, nobody's talking about the American people. The American people are suffering right now. This is turned into a crisis, but it's not the American people's fault. It's the government and corporations, and I think we need, if we focused on them, because they're really the problem. I mean, if I lived in a country that was, harsh and stuff, I would want to go to another country as well. But they have legal channels that people can go through to become a citizen. So if we allow, people who are not legal what about the people who's going through the channels legally, and they're just watching people come in like, hey, I'm a citizen by birth.
But here's the thing, Ron. We've never had a clear, fair, and consistent system. That's part of the problem. That's not Trump's fault. That's not Biden's fault. That's not Clinton's fault. What's kind of all of their fault. They share the fault. This country has never faced the music and said, we're going to have a clear, non-racist, consistent immigration policy. We don't have it.
Right, because of the money. Follow the money, you follow the corruption and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right, because even you heard the president now saying, well, I'm going to make an exception for farmers and hotel workers because maybe these are great people who, the corporate leaders will vouch for them. That's him really saying we need the labor, but I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm just going to act like these people are somehow deserve an exception, because really what he's doing is bending to those corporate interests, not to the actual humans. And, if people are really serious about cracking down on who's crossing our borders or who's allowed to be in this country, we need to have a clear, consistent, fair, non-racist immigration policy that is consistently applied. But Democrats and Republicans are both to your point, they're making money off the hypocrisy, number one. And number two, they're too much punks to take it on and just face the music.
Because you see, America, it's a racist country. So, there's thin lines you have to watch. If you say this, oh boy,
right.
You hate all Spanish. Oh boy, you hate all blacks. And, if someone wants to stand up and say, look, this is ridiculous, and like you said, come up with a law that is fair, equitable to all the people, I think that may, in the long term, solve some of the problems. But, I see a lot of, they gave Karen Bass $60 million for homeless. I see people sleeping under the free with women.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're talking about, and I see it too, and it's everywhere. It's nationwide. Well, we are talking about a problem that was created over decades of neglect.
Yeah.
So it's not something where you write a $16 billion check and it's solved. And so, yes, I don't think the money is a waste, but I do think we need more clear, transparent understanding of where it's going. And again, people might not want to hear this, but we're going to have to invest even more. The government may have to get into the housing business again.
It's like this. If you don't solve a problem, it gets bigger.
Hello?
And it gets bigger. And it's going to cost you more. So until these politicians understand that, it's just going to exacerbate. It's just going to get turned into some monster or something. So I think the people need to step up.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think we are stepping up, but and we can do more. But we're also in a time. We're also faced with a national governing body that is making things worse for most everybody, including the people that voted for them. And so the stepping up is going to have to be even bigger, more fearless, louder. I think we're up for it. What do you say, Ron?
Yeah. I think we need some type of think tanks or something where we can think about this and do it in a humane way. This is the way he's doing it is inhumane. That's why people are like, what? It's just
and probably illegal, because we do have a constitution which grants due process, not just to American citizens, to everybody. That's our system of law. The problem is, you could have legitimate concerns about the border. And a friend of mine was breaking down yesterday how if you look at the bombing of Iran and some of these, the warfare that's going on now, it's people inside the countries that are launching drones and attacking. So countries can be forgiven for being vigilant about their borders. But that's not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing people who have been here living and working, sometimes for decades, and we're seeing people that were legal 10 minutes ago being declared illegal. So when ICE says you're no longer eligible for a bond, now we can arrest you and pick you up. Those persons were going through the system. They went and they were told that they had a bond hearing, and we don't have enough immigration judges, so that could take years to get that bond hearing. They're allowed to live on their own. Now, as of this week, it's changed. No, you don't get that hearing anymore, so now we're going to put you in jail right now in detention. So these people who are profiting off of prisons are going to be making big bucks, and me and you, the American taxpayer, are going to be stuck paying for these people to be in jail instead of earning their own way.
Already getting screwed, okay? Well, I mean, we're getting screwed left and right with the taxpayer, with the tax paying. Karen Bass, she's talking about a program to pay people who are illegal, who's at the house, giving them a card to go buy food and clothes. Well, what about the American people? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Well, you know what? The people you're talking about, the care for migrants. That's not money, taxpayer money, though. That's coming from private foundations. Ron, stay with me if you want to. We've got news, traffic, and sports right here, and then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Governor Phil Murphy has declared a state of emergency after severe storms dumped up to 5 inches of rain across northern New Jersey.
We went up and it just started flooding really bad, and then tried to make a turn here, and my car's done for.
Flash flooding triggered dozens of rescues, shut down major roads like Route 22, and left thousands without power. 2 black attorneys in Florida have been suspended for 30 days after criticizing a judge who overturned a $2.75 million jury award in a racial discrimination case. The court ruled Jerry and Brooke Gurley violated professional conduct rules by questioning the judge's integrity. And Joy Taylor, a television and radio personality, was dropped by FS1. Fox Sports chose not to renew her contract, ending her nearly decade-long run with the network. Her departure coincides with the cancellation of her show Speak, along with Breakfast Ball and The Facility, due to low ratings. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Fall enrollment is still open at California Baptist University. Earn your bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree with flexible on-campus and online programs. Scholarships are still available to help you get started. Apply now at calbaptist.edu.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Bronny James led the Lakers rookies and free agents with 17 points Monday night in the team's loss to the Clippers in the NBA Summer League in Vegas. LeBron's son played 24 minutes. He made 6 of 10 shots and had 5 assists. The LA Sparks are at home tonight against the Washington Mystics. The Sparks are trying to win consecutive games for the first time this season. They beat the Connecticut Sun on Sunday. At 7-14, the Sparks are tied with the Chicago Sky for the 3rd worst record in the WNBA. Congratulations to Ty Floyd, a 28-year-old native of Winter Garden, Florida. Floyd is the first female play-by-play announcer to work for an HBCU athletic program. Floyd was hired Monday by Alabama A&M to be the school's play-by-play voice for football and basketball games on TV and radio. Floyd is a journalism graduate from HBCU Florida A&M. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
So Ron from LA called in. I think you're still there. I wanted to let you land. You were complaining about Mayor Bass offering help to migrants who are under attack at the moment by ICE. And I've heard some other people complaining about this. I don't have a problem with it because I feel like if I'm thrown in jail, even though I haven't committed a crime or detained, my family doesn't know where I am, someone's got to take care of the kids, there's all kinds of emergencies that stem from this. I don't have a problem with it because it is not coming out of taxpayer funds. It's money that's being raised from private entities. But Ron, I wanted to go ahead and let you land on that.
Okay. Let's move forward into the future here. Let's just imagine, like 1 million immigrants going back to, wherever country they went to. How does that look in whatever state in the U.S.? People say that, they do all the jobs that everybody else don't want to do. But the real truth is they do the jobs that everybody else don't want to get paid to do. I think that... You mean
because you're saying because they don't pay enough? So you think that if I'm working in a dangerous meat packing plant, stinky meat packing plant paid $50 an hour, people would do it?
I think so, yes.
That's possible. I'm not going to argue that, but I don't. But then, of course, a hamburger costs $60 now. You willing to pay that?
Well, not necessarily.
Pretty much.
It's already overpriced.
Right, and inflation is high. It's very high. It's going up again. Thank you, President Trump, and your tariffs. Inflation is jumping in June. 2.7% consumer price index over a year ago. Anyway,
Well,
so you're saying they need to pay more.
That's around the world.
No. That's U.S. consumer price index, my dear. That's here. But anyway, yeah, true. Inflation is going up around the world. Inflation is a worldwide thing. But right now, we're dealing with the very beginning of the price increases from tariffs. So I can see your point. I don't think it's necessarily true. I'm not going to work in a meat packing plant even for $50 an hour, but I believe you a lot more people would do it. Would pick lettuce for $50 an hour or strawberries. But there's no way, and I'm not saying people shouldn't. I don't know about $50 an hour, but I think people should be paid union wages, livable wages for all work, from Starbucks to picking cotton, whatever it might be. But it is going to impact pricing.
Listen, Dominique.
Okay, you're not landing. You're kind of going on and on. So could you go ahead and get to your bottom line, Ron, if you would?
My bottom line is this whole thing has to do with not the people, but American corporations. And people aren't focusing on that. They're focusing on the people.
So So that's not accountability you're going to get from this administration. If you want to regulate American corporations, stop them from hiring undocumented persons, force them to pay living wages for American citizens that pick lettuce and such, you're going to need you're not going to need corporate Democrats or Republicans. You're going to need the progressive wing of the Democratic Party or independent candidates that are willing to go that far. And, I would love to see it. Appreciate the call, Ron. I would love to see it. It's going to require a revolution in the Democratic Party. If you look at what's happening with the Zoran Mondami dude in New York, who won the Democratic Party nomination by a landslide. And now you've got Cuomo, who lost in the primary, insisting on running again as an independent. And Democrats and Republicans lining up behind Eric Adams, who's a Trump puppet now, because Trump saved him from his corruption charges, and who was already a cop mayor, who's now an independent, never should have been accepted as a Democrat. But Dems will not embrace Mondami because they think he's too far left, too progressive. Newsflash, you don't get to not follow your own freaking rules because you don't like the will of the voters. It reminds me of Measure J in Los Angeles. You don't get to accidentally on purpose cancel Measure J because you don't like it or because there's a budget crisis. Actually, they could declare an emergency and take the money back, claw it back, but then it has to come back after the emergency's over because it's a permanent law passed by the voters till further notice. You don't get to just say, well, I'm going to stay in the primary. Well, apparently he does, and he's doing it. And he says he'll drop out, Cuomo, if he's not a viable candidate. But WTF, Democratic Party? Get your head out of your nether regions and support the will of the people. And this is what I've been saying all along. The Democratic Party tries to co-opt the good ideas, the popular movements of the progressive wing of the party. Then they half-step it, corporatize it, and wonder why they can't win. And then they say, oh, no, they follow... The Republican talking point is that the Democratic Party is too radical, and so therefore the American people are rejecting them. And that is not the truth. The truth is the Democratic Party is too corporate and milquetoast. And the ideas that are coming out of the progressive camp, like universal health care, like free college for all, like student loan forgiveness, are wildly popular if you take them away from the labels of left, right, Republican, Democrat. Just the ideas, the concepts, what we're going for here. They're wildly popular. So this idea that we should all be Republican light is bull. All right. I'm going to Fred calling from LA. Good morning, Fred.
Hello, Dominique. Got three things, and I'm very fast as usual. I wasn't going to talk about immigration. We'll make that one. Everybody's seen those people coming across the border in the caravans and coming across the border. The women are overweight. Some of them were expecting with children. They have children with them. You see a lot of children, overweight men.
What does overweight have to do with immigration? You're
many
body shaming migrants. I can't.
I can't. How many of those people? What percentage of those people are eligible for the workforce? And then when you break it down further, you always want to bring Eaton and Palisades in it. How many of them are carpenters or electricians?
Well, we don't just need carpenters or electricians. We need people to haul stuff, carry stuff, clean stuff, break it down. But so you're saying migrants are fat, so they're really not good workers? Okay, next point, Fred.
Okay, now.
Thanks for playing the game.
I heard on the news the other day that the U.S. closed out the budget for June with a $27 billion surplus. If Trump was able to run that 12 months in a row, you got a balanced budget. When he took over on January, Biden was talking about $1.8 trillion.
Are you paying no attention to what's happening with these billionaire tax cuts that are running the deficit up by trillions? Are you living in the Newsmax fantasy land? Okay, Fred, what's your third point?
They just had a $27 billion defense. No, I haven't finished the second one.
Well, yes, you have. Let's go to the third one, please.
All right. You Democrats really want Trump to fail. Third point, and this is really the most important. Apparently, the Republicans have done.
Wait, that was a fourth point. To be honest with you, so you think I would love to see Trump succeed, but not in what he's trying to do. I would like to see him succeed in creating a viable economy. Great jobs for Americans, more factories here. I would not like to see him succeed in taking away women's rights, taking away civil rights, taking away Black history. So, yeah, I would like to see him succeed on the things that would help people, but the plans don't seem to be concentrated on that. Fred, final point, quickly, if you would.
The big, beautiful budget bill that they just passed. My younger sister was a cocktail waitress along the way. That's how she got part of her down payment for her first house. Actually, it was a condo. When she turned 55, she sold it. She retired.
And we care about that because why, Fred?
And she went out and bought her a brand new dream house. Now, over time, that's how I got the down payment for my first house. When I turned 55, I sold it.
Okay, short version, please, Fred. Give me the short version because you're kind of going on here.
That is the short version.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day. So, big, beautiful budget bill, which is going to increase taxes on the poor and the middle class, decrease taxes on the billionaire class, and has all kinds of other weird consequences. Helped your sister buy a house, even though it hadn't passed yet. Got it. Let's go to Paul calling us from L.A. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I am. I'm just going to say I have to respond to that last little talking point that he just said. So, name me a person that you know, Dominique, that's a waitress or a barber that gets cash tips and claims it on their tax returns. Name me one.
I don't know any of those.
Exactly. So for him to say that, the way they're selling that is not going to benefit you. It's
also,
going to benefit rich people.
That's temporary anyway. The no tax on tips, even if you did submit them, it's temporary. What's permanent is the tax cuts for billionaires. Yes.
And the cold part about that is that's going to add $5 trillion to the deficit. There's going to be cuts in for those for even have Medicare, right, that pay into it. Watch our premiums go up. So the expenses that are going to offset everything, you're going to end up paying more money out of your pocket than you're going to be saving. So when people say those things, it's such misinformation and disinformation. It's crazy. Explain to me how over $900 billion in cuts to Medicaid is going to benefit us. How when we're living in real time with all these issues in the environment right now, you spoke of Gronk earlier. Every time Gronk is used, that AI technology is used, we know directly those people in Memphis, Tennessee are going to have health issues Those are people that look like me and you, Dominique. So I hate it when people use their talking points in real time when it's directly having an impact on our people.
Yeah. And I think there's a delusional aspect to that, too. And I'm not part of the happy FAFO crowd. Like, I won't take any joy when Fred or his sister F around and find out, you know, that they no longer have health care, or that Social Security's been gutted, or that they have health care, but their auntie, their mom, their cousins do not. These things do not bring me joy.
Yes, and those medical centers that are going to disappear. In some ways, I hate to even say it, in those rural areas that voted for this, it's going to hit them definitely hard also. Our Head Start, cuts to that. Cuts to our children's education. In real time, the man is openly saying that they're going to dismantle the Department of Education. They are directly targeting our ability for our youth and the upcoming generation to be able to afford to go to college. That's a direct impact on our people. So when I hear that stuff, it's a reason why in this previous election that billionaires, over 100 billionaires invested $2.6 billion to influence this election.
Yeah.
You know why? To hear people talk like that.
You know what, Paul? I know that's not why you called. We'll let you get to your main point when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580, but it's well said.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
Hey man, hey, what's up, bro? What's the station you listening to? Oh man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio, KBLA 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA AM. 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education to know. Ooh, yeah. 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
KBLA 1580 Talk Radio.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Yeah, Paul from LA called, and he was responding to Fred, my independent/Republican caller. He says he's independent, but shares with us Republican talking points. His endless quicksand of Republican talking points Paul was responding to. But Paul, I'm sure that is not exactly why you called. So let me give you the space here to say what you actually called for.
Thank you, Queen. I appreciate it. So I want to give some perspective. And I have repeated this repeatedly to everybody that has listened, that this was always going to be about tax dollars and how they were going to be allocated. And that's why so much money was invested to influence the election. They don't worry about convincing to win your vote. They want you to not vote. So when people don't grasp that concept of it, somebody spoke earlier about the situation with the migrants, the immigrants getting the cash debit cards, and you responded that, well, that money's coming from private people, philanthropists that are giving money towards helping people out. And my response to that is, these people aren't doing it. Those billionaires and those people that own the farmland aren't doing it out the kindness of their heart. Majority of those people not only agree with it, but they're actually Trump donors. But they got what they wanted in these tax cuts in that bill, and that what they also got is basically in real time, indentured servitude being reinstituted. They're going to keep cheap labor, which keeps wages low, which increases their profits overall. It's always a way to exploit people. And there's a quote directly that came out of Donald Trump's mouth that nobody is paying attention to, when he literally said, if a farmer has been with one of these people that work so hard, they bend over all day. We don't have too many people that can do that, but they work very hard, and they know him very well. And some of the farmers are literally, they cry when they see this happen. If a farmer is willing to vouch for these people in some way, I think we're going to have to say that's going to be good. Listen, people, they're imprisoning people. They're sending people and deporting them to other countries, which is basically selling people. It's all a way to just exploit human beings. So either A, as a country, we're going to unite behind this, or B, for those that don't think that's going to come to their doorstep, you should be watching this in real time. And I'm going to leave it there, Dominique.
Yeah, really good points. And as I said when I was in an earlier rant, the play has to be, and we're already starting to see this happening, using those detained migrants for free labor, just as they have been doing with imprisoned American citizens, using them for free or $1 a day labor to pick those crops is the only way, because how are you going to detain 1 million people at taxpayer expense, and it doesn't hurt the corporate bottom line, unless you're exploiting those workers as low wage or no wage labor? And it seems like that's probably where it's going. A couple things we haven't had a chance to talk about. I guess we'll talk about them tomorrow. The Epstein files that were and then weren't and then were, and it seems that that is actually causing problems for Trump. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And it's kind of delightful to see that Republicans had to reject a Democratic amendment last night that would have forced the Justice Department to release those files, the Epstein files. Oh, there's a lot more to say about that, but I don't have time to say it right now. Dr. Paul Wallace is joining us. We're talking the skin you are in. Also, terrible, terrible heavy rains and flooding in the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, flash flooding, Pennsylvania also, downpours of rain. The governor of New Jersey declaring a state of emergency. It's giving Texas, and it's hearkening back to Altadena too, because all of this is occurring against the backdrop of a president who feels that we should end FEMA. You've got buses and trains down, People are being asked to stay indoors. Vehicles are stranded on roadways. Subway lines are closed. And this is, I would imagine, the reality that we're looking at increasingly because of the climate crisis. Supreme Court, of course, has said that the Trump administration can go ahead and fire those Department of Education employees, hundreds of them, and basically shut down the agency. I'm trying to figure out why Obama appointee Sonia Sotomayor agreed with everyone except Ketanji Brown Jackson that it was fine for the president to go ahead and lay off these workers. All of these things warrant more conversation. We can have that conversation on social media at KBLA 1580, or you can find me at DiPrima Radio on all of these platforms, but I'm at least tracking them because we will certainly be speaking more on them tomorrow when we open up the phone lines, as we always do. And as I mentioned, we are looking at inflation starting to tick up. Tick, 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 tick. And the tariffs are barely kicking in. We're going to learn about skin, a solution to a problem you or a friend may have that you might not even know there is an answer for. And Dr. Paul Wallace is taking your questions. All that after news, traffic, and sports exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Governor Phil Murphy has declared a state of emergency after severe storms dumped up to 5 inches of rain across northern New Jersey.
We went up and it just started flooding really bad, and then we tried to make a turn here and my car's done for.
Flash flooding triggered dozens of rescues, shut down major roads like Route 22, and left thousands without power. 2 black attorneys in Florida have been suspended for 30 days after criticizing a judge who overturned a $2.75 million jury award in a racial discrimination case. The court ruled Jerry and Brooke Gurley violated professional conduct rules by questioning the judge's integrity. And Joy Taylor, a television and radio personality, was dropped by FS1. Fox Sports chose not to renew her contract, ending her nearly decade-long run with the network. Her departure coincides with the cancellation of her show Speak, along with Breakfast Ball and The Facility, due to low ratings. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Fall enrollment is still open at California Baptist University. Earn your bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree with flexible on-campus and online programs. Scholarships are still available to help you get started. Apply now at calbaptist.edu.
Is this the title? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Bronny James led the Lakers rookies and free agents with 17 points Monday night in the team's loss to the Clippers in the NBA Summer League in Vegas. LeBron's son played 24 minutes. He made 6 of 10 shots and had 5 assists. The LA Sparks are at home tonight against the Washington Mystics. The Sparks are trying to win consecutive games for the first time this season. They beat the Connecticut Sun on Sunday. At 7-14, the Sparks are tied with the Chicago Sky for the 3rd worst record in the WNBA. Congratulations to Ty Floyd, a 28-year-old native of Winter Garden, Florida. Floyd is the first female play-by-play announcer to work for an HBCU athletic program. Floyd was hired Monday by Alabama A&M to be the school's play-by-play voice for football and basketball games on TV and radio. Floyd is a journalism graduate from HBCU Florida A&M. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
It's all love, it's all love, all love. No dairy, no sweets, only ripe vegetables, fresh fruit and whole wheat. I'm from the old school, my household smell like soul food, bruh. Curry falafel, barbecue tofu.